Hey everybody, Knickknack here to bring you guys another video after how many days not making one. Today I'm going to be giving you guys my late first impressions of a game that was released a few weeks ago, and that of course, as you see here, is Persona 4 Arena. I picked it up on release date, and I have to say thank God I didn't overhype it, because as of right now, this has got to be my favorite fighting game of 2012 so far. Getting into this video, I'm just gonna ramble about what's on my mind, and considering this is the first impressions video I have ever done, I might be a little terrible at explaining stuff. So, without further ado, let's start off with the gameplay. Now the gameplay is very awesome, because you can either be a newcomer to fighters and enjoy the combat system, or you can be a highly skilled player and get pretty technical with it. The system from I've played so far mainly consists of a 4-button layout with the special attacks and hyper combos being performed like you would in an Arc System fighter such as BlazBlue and Guilty Gear. The 4 buttons mainly being used consists of a light attack, a heavy attack, a light attack that summons their persona, and a heavy attack that summons their persona. The thing that makes this game great to fighting game newcomers is the fact that all you can do is just repeatedly press the light or heavy attack buttons and out pops a combo just like that. But for those who don't like the single button combos, fortunately, you're able to create a much more technical combo in the style of a Street Fighter game or a KOF game. Besides the 1-button combo attacks, there's also Persona summon attacks, which have your character summon this badass creature for those who don't know of Persona. I personally didn't use them, however, because I'm way too cautious when playing. But despite me using them sparingly, I overall liked it in the sense that it made you strategize in each fight, because you can't just use them just like that. You need to plan out because you're able to lose all of those summon attacks. Now I can go on and on about the gameplay, but some of you pretty much get the idea that I really enjoy it. Presentation wise, the game looks good. Arc System always knows how to make some beautiful visuals, and this game of course looks nice. The stages are just so vibrant and full of life, as you can see in the gameplay shown. They're just animated so nicely and have plenty of stuff going on, especially every small detail in the stages. The sprite work, while good, just feels a little cartoony however, and while that isn't a bad thing, it's kinda hard for me to say it's freaking amazing. Don't get me wrong though, because the characters still look pretty awesome. And you know what, thinking about it now, I think it was done cartoony on purpose, because the game sure plays very fast, and it does look colorful, which is another thing I love about it. The audio is something I too am loving. Since I've played Persona, I know of these tracks and I've been jamming to them. Talking about what tracks are in the game, they mainly consist of a couple of remixed Persona 4 songs, some original tracks for a game, and a couple of staple songs from Persona 3. To make a long story short, if you're a fan of Persona, you'll of course love the music. If you're not a fan, I think you still might enjoy them. Okay, now let's talk about the game modes. The game has plenty of content that can keep you busy, and while I should be talking about every single game mode, I'm only going to talk about 3 however, because I've only played 3 of them: Story Mode, Arcade Mode, and Challenge Mode. Starting with the Story Mode, I was extremely excited hearing about it, because I like story modes in fighters, and according to the creators, it's said to have 30 plus hours. Well, so far from what I've played, they seem about right. There's one problem however. Those massive hours they're not used for gameplay. They're not even used to give some Xenosaga long cutscenes. So far from what I've played, all those hours they said are for reading long ass essays of text, and throughout the story all you're doing is reading and reading and reading, and sure you get a short cutscene later on, but after that you're still reading. Mainly it's reading of what the characters have to say, because pretty much that's how the story mode goes. You choose a character, and in the first person perspective you pretty much read their thoughts as well as dialogue they have with other characters. In my opinion, it's kinda painful, but still an interesting storyline. Plus, it's part choose your own adventure, which I enjoy those types of stories. But still, as much as I give the developers props for including this mode, these studios should just take notes from NetherRealm, because crappy story or not, these guys knew how to make a story mode for fighting games. Next, I'll be talking about the arcade mode. From what I've heard, the arcade mode is just a story mode, but with the majority of the story content taken out. What I mean is, you just get a tiny introduction to your character and what they're doing, then that character just goes through each fight like a basic arcade mode does, and like during the middle of the ladder, your character has a little special in-game cutscene interaction with a certain character you're fighting. Think about the Fight Your Rival cutscenes in Street Fighter 4. It's like those, but you got about 3 to 4 moments of them, which happen in the start of the game, near the end, and of course the final boss. As a guy who played it normal, I found the boss's difficulty to be just right. But something that bugs me about the boss, however, is that you're able to pick her right from the start, which seemed pretty unfun. It's made up, however, with the unlockables. Overall, I found arcade mode to be a blast, mainly because of how it was presented. Last mode I want to talk about is challenge mode. The challenge mode is nothing special, to be honest, because about every 2D fighter has it. Just like in KOF 13 and Street Fighter 4, Persona Arena's challenge mode consists of you picking a character and having to perform their combos and attacks. As you can assume, it's just made for practicing with a character and learning their basics, which I'm very glad they've put in the game. The only problem, however, I actually seem to have is that I'm very terrible at it. I can only go up to challenge 12 or 15 with each character. But despite that, it just goes to show that I really need to put in more work. Let's just hope that I actually do put work and I'm able to finish all of those challenges. So in conclusion, after that first impressions and overview of Persona 4 Arena, you of course can assume I'm really enjoying it, and it definitely was worth the purchase in my opinion. If you like what you saw, definitely pick up the game new, because it's fucking awesome of course, and Atlus is a company worth supporting. So that was my crappy overview, impressions, review vid of Persona 4 Arena. Tell me if you're enjoying the game if you picked it up. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching, take it easy, and until next vid,